March 2020. I feel like this is gonna be one of those times where in like 15 years we're gonna be sitting around telling stories and be like, so I went to the 5th grocery store that day looking for toilet paper, or I was researching how to make surgical masks at home, or soon after I built a trapeze in my backyard. And people are just gonna look at us like, huh? March 2020. Ah, right. You know, this is really memorable stuff. I mean, at the beginning of the month, if someone as much as brought up the word pandemic, we thought they were overreacting. And now we've basically resigned ourselves to stay in our houses for the next forever. I was born in the year 2000, which basically means I don't remember 9/11. Wait, you actually don't remember 9/11? I don't remember 9/11. But everyone I talk to that can remember can tell me exactly where they were the moment that it happened. Whenever they looked at the TV, they can tell me what they were doing, how they felt, how it affected them. It was an important moment in our collective history, a shaping time for our nation, a time when, at least from what people have told me, we all came together. This feels like a pretty similar moment. People coming together, national tragedy, changed lifestyles. I think we're all pretty aware that this is pretty monumental. But this time, the story is more than just a moment when you looked at a TV. Our COVID stories will be our new normal. The daily routines we built, the things we lost, maybe even the people we lost, the relationships that were suddenly long distance. I think this stuff is important to write down, record, remember, so that we can tell the people who, just like me, were born just a little bit too late to remember. My name is Erica Jetté. I just tried whipped coffee for the first time. No, I do not have a TikTok, and March 2020 has been a month. Let's rewind. Can't believe I just did that. Okay, cool. In early March, I was on spring break. I got to see my grandparents up north. I got to take a trip with some of my best friends. We saw some of my friends from camp, which was really great. We got to go to the Biltmore house. We were around all these people. We were like, you kind of heard rumors about something about COVID. We were like, is it called the coronavirus? But other than that, it wasn't really a big deal. I came home, I learned a little bit of guitar. I got to cook dinner for my grandmother in Alachua. We made chicken pot pie, and it actually turned out pretty good. Spring break ended, and there was a growing number of confirmed cases in the US. This was the start of the "this is just like the flu, what's the big deal" campaign that pretty much everyone except epidemiologists and my mom subscribed to. And UF coordinators, apparently, because to everyone's surprise, UF sent out an email and said that classes were highly encouraged to go online. By the next week, it was mandatory. For the first time since 9th grade, I was homeschooled again, and all these students were going home and packing up, and UF campus just kind of became dead. That was weird. Our church went from being all Easter at the O-Dome to church is going to be online for the foreseeable future in like 3 days. So that was weird. Our family did 1 week of church online with our microchurch, but after that, it's just been our family. And I really love worshiping together, and we get to sleep in a little bit more. But I really miss the big corporate gatherings where everyone's singing together, and I get to see all my friends. That's the only time I see them each week. Today we had Easter at your home, which was really good, but not quite the same. Anyway, after a family meeting that basically restricted my entire social circle to 2 people outside of my family, my dad and I decided to take a quick trip down to Vero Beach to see my grandfather because there was rumors of a travel ban, and we thought we'd just go down there real quick. So we spent time with Grandpa, I did school, we fasted and prayed that the Lord would intervene with the coronavirus. There was one morning whenever my dad and I got up really early to go to the beach. We sought the Lord together while watching the sunrise, and it was really beautiful. It was a time that I'm really gonna treasure. Anyway, things sort of became a blur whenever I got home. Schools had closed, so some of the kids in the neighborhoods that I tutor in didn't have access to school meals. I got to be a part of the team where we actually got to deliver school meals to those neighborhoods. I got to see some of the kids that I tutor, which I don't know when I'm gonna see them again, and it was so good. It was really hard to tell them not to hug me. I didn't like that very much. That Thursday night, Ben came over to work out as usual. We hung out for a little bit in the garage. He, quickly hugged me goodbye, and he went home and I went in to eat dinner. I didn't know it at the time, but that would be the last time I would get to hug him for a while. The next morning, I woke up sick. So I got quarantined in my room for a couple days. I talked to Ben through the screen door of my room, and we both had masks on. Turns out I just had a stomach bug, not COVID, which was, rather relieving. And by the time I was let out of my room, my social circle had been restricted again to just the people in my family. And everything changed, just like that. That was about 3 weeks ago, the beginning of the new normal. Since then, I've been acclimating to social distancing, which is a term that no one had ever heard before March. But now we have Snapchat filters and Facebook frames and everyone's talking about it. It's just weird. To be honest, all of the rapid change was really hard for me. I felt like everything changed all of a sudden, and I didn't have any control over it. I didn't get to choose who I got to see or who I was going to lose. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. So, because literally everything in my life felt out of control, I decided to try new things and better myself and all of that stuff. I decided to learn trapeze. Yes, trapeze. I have no idea why I chose that particular activity, but my dad and I built a trapeze in our backyard, and I've been learning some static trapeze tricks. Honestly, it's been really therapeutic. For real though, I'm determined to do little things in this quarantine that maybe I didn't have time to do earlier. I'm a very structured person, so for me, the idea of just like relaxing and taking it really easy during a quarantine time is a little bit overwhelming. So I try to find things to do and try to find things that's how I stay healthy. I'm reading through the Federalist Papers. I wrote some music. I've been learning a little bit of guitar. Almost every day I walk outside and pray for the families that I tutor for that I don't get to see anymore, because I know that that's the best way that I can support them is by praying for them. I know that for me the quarantine is just weird and kind of emotionally hard, but I know that there's a lot of families right now, maybe you're one of those families, that this has been really hard, and I want to cover those families that I know in prayer. So while I'm prayer walking, I will pause and say hi to my neighbors and enjoy the sunshine. It's cool to see the neighborhood kind of come together because everyone's outside. Of course, I do all these things while I'm not doing homework. Just because school went online did not mean that my workload decreased at all. I set up a little office in the back of our house, and I'll just sort of put my head down for a few hours and get that done. Sometimes I forget to eat breakfast, which isn't great, but I get my work done. Woo. Anyway, about 2 weeks ago, my mom... Okay, hold up. Quick appreciation moment for my mom. She goes into the hospital every day, follows all of these crazy safety procedures. They have layers of masks they have to wear. There's a mask here and then a mask here. She comes home and she does more research on COVID to make sure that she's staying up to date with all of the latest discoveries and new ways of doing care so that she can provide really good care and cover her team well. She's had to learn how to love patients and take care of patients in a different way now that she can't touch them. All throughout March, she was counseling people about how they should react and how they should protect themselves and what social distancing looks like. She was educating a whole group of people about what this looks like. And on top of all of that, she's been a great mom, and she's been covering us well and there for me whenever I'm having a rough day because everything's changing. And I just think my mom's a superhero. Okay, so about 2 weeks ago, my mom decided that we were not going to use the term social distancing anymore. She said that we were going to call it physical distancing instead, because we're not isolating ourselves from society. We still have to stay connected in our communities, our microchurches and our church and our classrooms and her workplace. We still need to be integrated and we still need to be connecting with each other. Now, if you're watching this, a few years from now and you're like, wow, back in 2020, how in the world could they stay connected with the limited technology that they had at that time? One word, my dude. One word. Zoom. I promise. Zoom is 95% of society right now. I'm telling you, my whole life is on Zoom. We got Zoom lectures. I had Zoom greenhouse leadership training stuff. Zoom recorded lectures, so you can watch it later. Team tutoring meeting? Zoom. Want to call your friend to video chat? Zoom. My microchurch? Zoom. Actually, some of my friends and I, who we all live in different parts of Florida, we started a Bible study together. You know how? You got it. Zoom. I even have Saturday night dates over Zoom. Then screen shares Lord of the Rings and we watch that together. At this point, I'm just ready for my family to announce that all future family get-togethers and meetings will be over Zoom just to keep it consistent. Anyway, March has been a weird month, and so far, April hasn't been any less out of the ordinary. My name is Erica Jetté. I live in Gainesville, Florida, and this is my March 2020 story. What's yours? Keep thinking.